6:30, we'll call the meeting to order. The state requirement for agenda and amendments, we have no changes to ours tonight. Minutes for 7/18/22, I need a motion and second to review and approve.
I make a motion to review.
Second.
You have them, do we have any kind of comments, deletions?
There was
Reviewed out of it?
a typographical error in here. I'm not sure if I can find it again. I didn't mark it down, but I saw something in here.
Why don't we give that to Sandy and
Sure.
go ahead.
Yep.
If there are no other corrections, motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Was Kathy at that
Yeah,
meeting?
Kathy wasn't there, so I'll make a
Oh.
motion to approve.
Yes.
You found it?
Second.
Oops.
The pay orders for August 2, currently showing $12,786.37. I need a motion, a second to review and approve.
I make a motion to review.
Second.
As I said, we're currently showing $12,786.37. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll ask to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Honorable mentions. As you all may be aware, there's a new bench down at the library. I would like to thank Tucker Moody, Jonathan Eno, Emily Sutherland, Gregory Delaney, Riley Cannell, along with the master sculptor Nora Valdez. They're the ones that are responsible for the creation. We'd also like to thank Lori Phillips for obtaining the marble base. Also, Bert Jones and Mary Biddles donated $50 to our local wood shelf. We always thank anybody who has contributed to that. That is a worthy cause. The salt, sand, and shed update.
We're waiting for him to call in,
That's
Nelson.
going to be part of the, he's not available, or he is available.
He'll be calling in probably any minute. He's gonna call in at 6:45.
Okay, why don't we put that on hold? We have nobody here from the road commissioner.
No, he couldn't make it tonight.
We do have 2-3 items under the road commissioner. Sandy and I spent some time out with one of the 2 contractors that have submitted bids on this. We visited both in front of the fire station, Cumberland Farms, and over on Florence Avenue. I believe you have 2 different bids here. One is from L&D Safety, and the other was from a gentleman that works for the Bennington Highway Department down there. There's quite a bit of difference in them. The L&D quote is $7,200, and I believe the Bennington was what, 23.3 or
It was 2380.
23.8?
Yep.
I know we had discussed this at an earlier meeting. First, I guess I'd give anybody a comment period if there's any particular comments to be made. Sandy and I tried to keep this at a minimum number of places, mainly because it was a unbudgeted expense. Hopefully, we did have money that came from the state highway towards our highway for the year. I believe the amount was about 9,000.
Yeah, that supplemental
So we
income.
do
yeah.
have money that's available for either one of these. I am somewhat familiar with L&D from past flagging experience of my own. I don't know the other gentleman, but as I said, there is quite a difference in the two bids. I guess I would just add that I do think that we've kept it to the bare minimum, and I do think these are very important spots where we are. We looked at the one in front of Cumberland Farms. That would be a hash-marked parking area, and the state requires that in a location with those sidewalks that exist there, that there be a stop bar or a crosswalk installed. So there is a stop bar and a crosswalk.
And Nelson, what did you say that crosswalk would be?
It is required to have a crosswalk there.
Okay.
That's under a state standard, so.
My question is, how are the bids different? Is there more that is done in the L&D Corporation bid than the Green Mountain line striping one? Or are they doing the same amount of work?
They would be doing the same line. It's
I'll make a motion to accept Green Mountain line striping's bid. The low bid.
Did I hear a second or anything?
I was still looking at the,
Pardon?
I was still looking at the, paint. Can I ask a question about the paint? I see that for L&D safety, it's waterborne paint, and for Green Mountain line striping is oil-based paint. Is there any difference in the lasting quality, do we know?
To be honest, I'm not sure if there is or not.
Okay.
I know they're all accepted by the AOT.
Oh, okay. Then I would say I would second the motion.
All in favor of approving which one?
The Green Mountain line striping LLC.
Okay. All in favor of accepting the L&G, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Roadside mowing. I think everybody's aware that the gentleman that was going to do it is unavailable. Sandy, have you had any luck contacting anybody?
HP Fairfield is booked for the season, and Phil did not get a chance to speak to Castro Lane and Clarendon. He did say he would be able to do the roadside mowing, some of it at the same price as the contractor that we were gonna hire at $100 an hour. $100 an hour for Phil.
Still 100 an hour?
For Phil, yeah.
Yeah.
For operator and mower.
About a week or two ago, there was someone mowing down 140. Do we know who that person was?
If they're coming down, it's probably the state.
That was the state, okay.
Yeah, if it's this way,
Yes.
yeah, it's the state.
Okay.
State owns this part, this part
Okay.
of 140.
I think realistically, the Phil's $100 an hour is really the only choice that we have right now. Would the consensus be, I guess, that we notify him to go ahead and do it?
I would agree to it.
Consensus of Phil. The bike jumps obviously haven't been done over there. I'm sure.
Did mention it to him, I spoke to him today briefly, and I asked him if he had any time frame for getting the bike jumps done, and he said he hoped to get to it soon.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about it.
Public comments. You're here for business.
Oh, we did get a call from a gentleman on Creek Road, and he did ask us what we had planned, of course Phil's not here tonight, for the Creek Road Bridge. And he asked that the residents on Creek Road not be forgotten, because he's worried that bridge is gonna fall into the river.
Joyce has not let me forget that for 1 minute.
Are we gonna address Gary Fredette's letter or no?
Do you know if Julie's gonna be here, or is it just a memorandum? On the tax rate?
She might be here, I'm not sure, she didn't tell me whether she was gonna show up. She looked early.
I think, Bruce asked if we were addressing the letter that was included in our packet
And Gary?
From Gary
from
Fredette?
Gary Fredette.
We actually got, when Nelson was in my office recently, Carol McLeod was in there with the same complaint.
The same complaint?
I don't think Carolyn was on the board, but I brought this up about a year ago and made the same suggestion that Gary's making about making it one-way. And
Yeah, I remember that a year ago. Did you make the suggestion of making the one-way, Bruce?
yeah,
Yeah. What is everybody else's thoughts on that?
The hardest part, that whole intersection has been a problem. It's the same problem we have by the post office coming out of
Most of the roads.
Depot Street onto Route 7 when their cars parked there. We could probably make a case for making virtually every one of those through streets one way. Regardless, if we do a one way on that street, you're gonna get complaints from people that live there. If we do no parking on Route 7, you're gonna get complaints from people who live there.
Businesses.
I would be willing to look at doing a one-way street for maybe 90 days and to see if we get feedback on it. But there you're messing around with traffic, and it's one way now, and in 90 days it may not be. I don't personally have a good answer for that one.
Is there anyone we can talk to about, like, for the people who are parking on Route 7, is the parking all the way to the corner? Is there a no parking zone? A limited no parking zone, like say 100 feet or something from the corner? Do we think that might be a solution or not? I'm just throwing out ideas.
I've looked at that, I can't tell you how many times, coming up out of there. And the problem with the parked cars aren't at the intersection. They go all the way back to almost opposite the library. And it's the cars that are the third and fourth and fifth one down there that really block everything off. If it were that simple, I'd be strongly in favor of it.
Okay.
But there again, if you try to block that off, you've got people trying to bring children to the daycare center. You've got, what, 2 businesses in there?
Yep.
Again, the first thing out of them is gonna be, why do I not have any parking and everybody else does? Truthfully, the only real solution I see is going westbound, being one way. There, at least they can see traffic that's coming south on 7 when they're turning left. But there again, they're still subject to the same southbound traffic. That would eliminate people coming up off of Florence. But then again, the people on Shed Place are gonna have to go out and go all the way around in the morning when they wanna go anywhere. I think probably one of the few things that could be done would be to try and get people to sit there a little longer and be patient. That's,
I don't think it's patience, though. I think it's just people can't see. I mean,
yeah,
numerous times I've been coming south on Main Street and had to slam on the brakes because somebody
Yeah.
pulled off there. And you could see, once they got out there and they saw me, they were panicked and I was panicked and,
Yeah,
oh,
it is.
And I know a lot of people will cut through there because the stoplight is no turn on red. So they'll go down and do
Do we
Florence.
want, do we,
So to avoid waiting at the light.
see, I personally will go to the light now instead of cutting through Florence, but just because the vision is so poor.
But at times when it's not really busy and you're waiting at the light and there's nobody else, people will cut through Florence or the other way.
to not
Rather
wait at the
than-
light.
personally, I'm like Bruce, I go to the light also, but that's just because I don't wanna get hammered.
Is there any signage we can put there?
What signage you could do, I mean, it's a vision issue.
What's everybody's view on it? Do we think about making it a one-way, or? I think Bruce, you stand by your recommendation from a year ago.
I think it should be a one-way street, I mean, just for safety's sake.
And that's why I would say, if it comes down to public safety, you gotta go with the public safety side, and I think I'm kind of leaning towards the one-way.
Well, maybe Nelson is right, we tried it for, 90 days or something and see how loud people scream.
August 1st.
I think that's the only way that we're actually going to get a real test result or.
So maybe we just go ahead and try it for 90 days?
The hard part of it is what we're gonna judge it against. To my knowledge, I don't recall an actual accident happening there, so I don't know what we're gonna compare it to.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have an accident in the next 90 days, well, it hasn't happened in the last 90 days either.
But do we really wanna wait until an accident does happen there?
No.
I mean, if we see an accident about ready to happen and we can actually take steps to maybe stop it?
Well, I think among us, I think everybody here has had a close one there, or is aware of somebody that's had a close accident. Honestly, I'm willing to go any way you guys want to go, whether you want to try doing one way or,
What's the will of the board? I would go with Bruce's suggestion,
Willing to try it for 90 days.
and I'm willing to try it.
I mean, the only thing is the trying it, what will be the metrics to know, is it worth it or not? I mean, not saying it's a bad idea, but, if you're trying it, you need to have an end goal on why. Okay, it's good to do or not. And if it's just hearsay of, oh, didn't almost get in an accident, there's not really, sorry, I'm a numbers data person and
So how would we get data?
that's it. I
And
think
do
this
we
is one of
need
those
before
things
data
that
and
there's
after
not
data?
really going to be, it's personal.
I
Do you
don't
feel
believe there's
safer?
any survey that's required to be taken. I think basically the fact that it's a move being done for public safety in itself. If I recall, I believe there's actually in the state, the AOT handbook, I believe actually allows you to make changes in direction, flow of traffic, direction of traffic, and regulating
The
speed.
one piece of data we have is the people reaching out and saying something, writing the letter.
Yeah,
And that has happened over several years
No.
continuously.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying not do it, I'm just saying, if we say we're gonna try it for 90 days, what would be the reason to say yes or no to continue?
yeah, I don't think there's any problem documenting complaints.
Yeah.
It,
I would say that if in those 90 days, there are no complaints made
Okay.
about safety. There might be complaints made about convenience. But that's different than safety. If the safety complaints go away in that 90-day period, I mean, we could say 3 months if we wanted
no, I just
to.
wanna make it clear for whatever
Yeah.
we do, what the end
Right.
would be.
And I would say the data of why we're taking this action is because of consistent complaints
I'm
over
for
the
it, I
years.
just
And
wanna
then I would say if those complaints then go away,
Okay,
then there's your data. But if they continue, then it really didn't do anything. What does the
just-
rest of the board think?
we just need
Right,
a set, this was our goal.
exactly.
It may take a few days to do that. I'm not sure if we have any of the signage at the garage.
How
It
much,
certainly can be ordered. I don't see that as a big problem.
We want to
Do we
give
need to
people a
take a vote?
notice too.
that's what I was saying, public notification, how much warning do we have to give?
Yeah,
Right. Do we know the regulations on that, of how much?
it's gonna have to go into the town ordinances. I mean, you can't enforce it without it being in the
Okay.
ordinance. As I recall, I believe it's a 60-day notice. That'll give us time to get signage.
So it'd be 60 days before it went into effect?
Yeah, it'd be 60 days before we could do it.
Okay.
Is that an agreement with everybody?
So you want to amend the ordinance?
Yeah, it's gonna have to, we can approve it next
Okay.
meeting.
All right.
And we did mention that the bike jump, you reminded them.
Sorry to just go back.
Okay, public comments?
We just meet the schools, I don't know if that'll affect a bus route at all. I wouldn't think so.
There's a bus
I
go
wouldn't think
down
so, that's what I'm saying, I
towards?
don't think any buses would go that way, we just need to make sure.
That's a good thing to check on. And to let the district know, let the school district know that there's going to be a change in the signage on Florence Street.
Yeah, I can't see that there would be any bus going that way, but to be safe, if it means that they have to reroute. Sorry.
No, that's a good point, thank you.
Municipal tax rate.
I tested the phone.
We all have the memo from Julie. The newly lodged grand list is $2,329,492, and that omits the zeros. Last year, it was indicated to be $2,320,037, and again, the zeros are omitted. The fiscal year '23 town taxes to be raised is $992,037 and 6 cents, minus the surplus carryover, which was $74,372.28, and that brings the total to $917,664 and 78 cents. this year's town tax rate will be .3939. Last year it was .3936. And the local and the fire district tax rates are still unknown. Has everybody got that?
Do you need a motion?
Are we gonna be good with that? We have to make a determination that it passes or not.
Is a motion needed?
It's,
I make a motion to accept the town's tax rate to be .3939.
do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We have a plan here for the concession stand. I believe that's what Sumio's here.
Everybody has copies already, so I guess I didn't have to make these. So this grant will pay, they'll match,
We'll back it here.
yeah, this grant, I guess I can give you the anyway. This has the grant. That's copies of the grant.
Got it already.
Thank you.
So they'll match up to 25,000. If we invest 25,000, they'll match that. But we have to,
Excuse me, Sumio?
yeah.
I'm half deaf. Speak a little louder.
Yeah, this grant is for 25, they'll match, if we invest 25,000 into a project, they'll match it. So.
50-50 match.
75,
Yeah.
50-50.
50-50 match.
50-50,
50-50.
yeah. So this is a proposal to try to get this grant. So right now, this drawing shows the current layout of the concession building. And so the men's bathroom is, you have to go through the rec area to get to the men's bathroom. And the far end here is the storage space for boats and picnic tables and whatever else we might need to store. But it used to be the men's bathroom a long time ago. Gary Furdette came to one of our rec meetings, and he said it would be nice if we could restore it the way it used to be with a men's bathroom. And that way the rec area could be just a rec area, and you wouldn't have guys going through there to use the bathroom while they're having rec program. So we looked at it and we thought, well, the only way for it to work easily would be if we created another storage space for the boats and such. I talked to LaValle, and they suggested a 20 by 16 garage. And this is the quote for that. This includes a slab. And it's $22,253.
And this price includes labor to?
Yes, this is labor,
to put the
everything.
structure up?
Yeah. Now, the only thing we'd have to do is the site prep. which is like, clearing a spot and putting gravel in. And the gravel has to be so many inches deep and stuff. And then the work on the concession building would be isolated to the storage space. So there's no changes to anything on the lake side of the storage space. Yeah.
Okay.
It all remains the same. So basically, we would put a single door where the garage door is now. And the garage door presently is not a very safe, it's not safe right now because the wall has become unanchored to the floor. So the whole block wall is swinging with that when you open and close the door. So it's a little, and that door weighs a lot, so it's a little bit precarious. So it's, no matter what, even if we don't do this proposal, we're gonna have to do something about the door. Yeah.
Now, I have a question. To go from the current layout to the proposed layout,
Yeah.
how much is the cost going to be for that? Because
Yeah,
it looks
so-
like there's an extra bathroom included
No, that
in-
bathroom's already there.
Oh, so there's already 3 bathrooms?
Yeah, it's just not used. It's just, it was abandoned kind of, like,
Not functional.
yeah.
Okay, so there are 3 bathrooms there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So really, other than fixing the door,
Yeah, other than,
that would be the cost in going from the current layout to the proposed layout? And we need to do
Yeah,
the fixing of that garage door no matter what?
yeah, I mean, I proposed some stuff here, some privacy stalls and a bench and
Yeah,
maybe making a closet out of this little nook back here.
okay.
But that's all, maybe that's it.
The real cost is in the garage
Yeah,
proposal.
but it all has to, I think what we're proposing here will be around that $50,000 mark. Because this is not a lot of work right here, because there already is a garage door there, so all it would require is bricking it up and creating and mounting a new door there, where the garage door is now.
Now, the proposal for the garage, it looks like, if I'm reading this correctly, is close to 25,000?
22,
Or if you go for the 16 by 20, if we were to do
With
the...
site labor, it would probably be closer to 25.
Yeah, so that other value is, if you went to a 20 by 20.
And are you proposing the 16 by 20, and you just gave us the 20 by 20 so we could
No,
compare?
he just threw that, Wayne Schiller
Add that in.
threw that in.
Okay.
Trying to do the upsell.
So the 16 by 20 would be with labor about 25. Do you propose that the changes then, if it was 25, then we could actually put in a proposal for 12.5
And then we would receive the
No.
match.
for the match? Now, Sumio just said he thought it'd be more like the 50.
Yeah, because there's changes
Is that for
to
the change from
Yeah.
the current layout to the proposed layout? I'm just not where, I'm not
Okay,
sure
so
the
there's,
other 25,000 is
There's
going.
site prep, so that's gonna take an excavator and bringing in gravel and,
Before you get carried away too far on this garage, I think you're gonna find that the state is not gonna allow you to put a garage up next to the lake.
okay. We did check the floodplain and
According to the floodplain map, it's not
it's
an
not in
issue.
it.
It's not the fact that it's a floodplain, it's the fact that you're doing something within 125 feet of the lake.
Okay, but it doesn't
Because of
have
Act
to be,
250?
yeah, it doesn't have to be there. We can move it further away from the lake, but,
We could find a different location.
I mean, I just
mean,
thought it
would
looked
it-
convenient there, but,
I think you end up having to put it way up in the parking lot before you ever,
so you think that they're gonna be concerned because people want to put their cars in there, or what, what's your?
no, no, it's an environmental thing. The state has all sorts of regulations around lake edges.
So what you're
you
suggesting
can't-
is we
you
need to do a little more research on what the regulations are before we come to the table with this?
And maybe, yeah, and then also that if that does affect it, where would the new location be and what would it take to get that prepared?
Okay.
Yeah,
I think there's other
And if
issues to
it's
think
not,
about too. I
if
mean,
it's not close to the lake, it's not gonna be useful. Because they're gonna be storing the boats in there.
I know.
So if we put it way up there in the parking lot,
Yeah.
it's basically gonna be useless.
It's good that you guys have done this work, but I don't think it's practical to think about putting another garage anywhere on the lake.
No, it's just
By
an
the time
idea.
you meet the state regulations, I think, like you're saying, it's not gonna be practical.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, I mean, it wouldn't be any better if we had to put it way up there. Yeah.
They're
But if
next
there's-
more closer to the building?
Yeah.
The issue that we're having is the storage issue, the access to the bathroom. And so this is one idea that we've come up with to make this scenario work better. Another option was to add on to the existing building so that we have storage.
Again, you're gonna run into issues with the state
I
environment.
want to know what the issues are more than just the issue.
When we were proposing putting that,
Rain garden.
where it got washed out before,
Yeah,
when we approached the state, trying to find out what we could do, there were a number of things that they told us. You know, that there was that 250 feet, that you couldn't change anything from the water line back.
okay,
There was a protected area.
250.
And there was a clause in there about anything that was rebuilt or replaced in there had to be to the same standard as what was already in there as far as materials. It's been 3 months now and I don't remember exactly what they were, but you really need to bring them. They would probably be the same standards that the $22,000 grant we're looking at for planning will have to follow.
Okay,
So whoever we're contacted with on that planning, quite possibly might be an overlap to what you want to do with the concession. I think you're going to find that the concession stand falls within that limited area of what you can do. And one of my immediate questions is, I don't know if there's going to have to be a change to the septic system.
there won't be any, it will literally just be a storage building.
Yeah, there's not gonna be any plumbing.
The bathrooms
You're adding
already
a bathroom.
exist. We're not adding any bathroom.
Well, you are, because the bathroom that's there is not functional, and it hasn't been for a long time.
So did they
But the
take away
plumbing is
too?
still in existence, so when the site would ever be inspected, it wouldn't have been an addition to the property. Would be my understanding as far as,
So you're pretty sure the plumbing's disconnected? Or,
I don't know. I don't know. The one time I looked in there briefly, it looked like the sink had been disconnected, the drains had been disconnected, the water supplies had all been disconnected.
just because it might freeze and burst?
I guess I'm kind of where Bruce is. I'm not really sure what your changes are. It looks like you changed the configuration.
may I?
It's just adding the, like, dressing rooms for the
Yeah.
men.
So this is what exists currently.
There
And
wouldn't
there
be
is a
anything
bathroom in
stored
this
there
location.
anymore.
The only
It'd be a
change
men's
would
bathroom.
be
It'd-
to
just
wall
like the women's
in the
bathroom.
overhead door and put a single man door in its location.
What is this stuff here?
These are just dividers, just like in the women's side. Just divider changing rooms.
Okay, I thought these were bathrooms.
No, just divider changing rooms where you can, because the men's, there's no area for the men at this point. And this looks like it's just a little closet space because there is a little alcove in that location.
So your idea is to take the storage out of the concession stand completely
Yes.
and to have a separate storage
And have an
place?
alternate location.
And build a safer location.
A safer location, which will actually hold things safer.
And it would be great to be able to put things in a safer spot.
Right.
Yeah, plus it makes the concession building, I think, more logical, you know, because you'd have a men's room and a women's room, and then you'd have the rec area or for the summer camp.
What would your timeline be?
The grant is due September 1st. So if we were going to move forward on this, we would have to understand more about what the state requirements are, and then come up with an added proposal for that, and then apply for the grant before September 1st.
Okay, but the grant would probably be activated sometime in the spring of next year?
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking, okay, we do have a budget before then.
Yes.
Have you
We
gotten,
didn't budget to spend $25,000 next year.
We wouldn't be spending $25,000. I think that the estimate of $50,000 is lofty, just because why not apply? But it'd probably be more like 15.
I think the other thing
Added to our
people should
15.
keep in perspective is this is a building that's used like 8 weeks out of the year.
Okay. So we have the opportunity to apply for a 50-50 match grant up to $20,000 as a municipality at a recreation location. So we don't want to lose that opportunity. Are there other things that you all could think of that could add to recreation world in a positive way?
Anytime I hear that, I immediately think ice skating.
Okay. This is as the grant states, it's for a project that is current and will be completing that particular project. So the project that we're currently working on is rearranging the rec building, which is something we've been working on since we started. And then they provide the funding to complete said project. And so the completion of our project, the recreation building, would be creating this secondary location to store recreation items.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is finding out if this garage meets all the regulations and that there would be a space for it that would be appropriate, that would be close enough to be usable. So
Yeah.
maybe you can look into that?
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely.
just to get the quotes for the excavation and the sand?
No, what I said was,
Have you
Site prep.
have you reached out for those yet?
Yeah, we didn't really want to go too far with this.
No, but I mean, if
If
we make that decision, we would need to know, because that can get pricey once you're ordering gravel and
Exactly.
machinery and how to get the machinery there. Just,
and actually I was gonna say that, that there would need to be some, quotes of what the cost of the prep would be, so that we could have an estimated total cost of the project.
and we have, and there's, I mean, thankfully, we have a lot of local people that would know that area to know more than just,
Right.
that do that work.
I think you need to get more than just gravel, though.
No, I just was
You need
saying that.
to, you need a
more.
price on what it's gonna block, to block in that wall, add a door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What it'll take to revamp.
Because I thought maybe by the time you add all that in, it's going to be 50.
But, and if we apply for the grant and we don't get it,
Then we don't do it, yeah. I don't know, I don't think we're going to get past this environmental thing.
I don't think you are either,
So
Sumio.
I'm kinda
I just,
thinking- I mean, we'll look at it, but I think I just don't see it.
there may be alternatives too than just a self-standing garage. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm almost even
We just
wondering.
thought that would be a little bit better quality than one of these sheds, you know,
I-
a Home Depot shed kind of thing, yeah.
I mean, there may even, to start off with, to even just utilize the building you have, there's the 2 rec rooms. I don't know, size-wise.
think we were looking at it as just an overall improvement.
Oh, I know, I'm just,
To that
if
concession.
environmentally you can't get to the next step, I think it's really important to try to improve the concession building.
Yeah, I think another idea might be to look at maybe moving some walls,
If the
Creating
environmental's a hard stop,
creating different size
I
spaces.
think we should go, I mean, this grant is great, so whoever found it, great.
And if there's ways, maybe if we can't do the garage
Plan
thing,
B.
do some other thing that will help increase space somewhat and provide some sort of first more logical floor plan, and then also a safer, storage, some sort of storage area. Maybe it can't be what you originally are proposing, but maybe it can be something else within the building.
But thanks for bringing and doing all this work so
Yes.
far, and
Thank you.
It wasn't that much work.
Is it possible to still do some work in the garage though?
I'm sorry, what?
Maybe, is it possible to still do the work on the garage area though?
Because
It has to happen, the overhead door is, the jamb is pulled away from the block foundation at this point, and so that definitely needs to happen.
maybe at the very least, having something towards that. And then if there's other things we could put in, great.
That's not a bad idea.
Thank you very much.
That's okay.
That's all I got. I guess we're good then.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Did I
Julie.
miss the road commissioner section?
We set the rate at point
Not here
33
tonight.
3939.
He's not here.
Morgan was asking about the road commission.
We did not deal with the penalties though.
What?
In the past, we've done what, the 8%?
It's 3 and 8, yes. 3% for education. So it'd be 3%.
We have done the 8% before.
Only if the non-residential rate is higher than the residential. It's in the middle here.
Yeah, where'd that go?
So so the residential rate is lower than the non-residential, so it would be 3%. A late fee. So you need to vote on if you want to charge that again. If they don't file their homestead declaration in time. When's the last time we've done that? We do it every year. We do it every year. Okay, you have to vote on it every year. It's been voted, it's been approved every year.
So it needs to be 3%, Julie?
So basically, we just need to,
I'll make a motion that we charge 3% penalty for failure to file your homestead declaration.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Julie. Okay, we have a,
I was wondering if I missed the road commissioner conversation, but I couldn't come,
He
so.
couldn't come tonight, Morgan.
Okay.
Somebody from that.
That's fine.
Will you hear about anything in particular?
The bike jumps and moving the material.
I asked him about the bike jumps, and he said he just hadn't had time to get to them. But I did ask, we talked about that very briefly today.
Cool. I just want to make sure he like moves it into a place that's more convenient than just leveling it, that's all.
I'll have to get in touch with him before.
Okay, that's fine.
Request for a proposal. Sandy put this together. Just out of curiosity, like the kickoff meeting and any of this stuff, have you worked out when that stuff will occur?
Oh, it'll just be whenever, it depends on the schedule of whoever we end up hiring.
What their reply?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that this goes right along with the, everything that we've received from them. And we probably just need to sign out with
Yeah, so I can formally issue it. I got a price from Rutland Herald, we could run an ad in Rutland Herald for 3 days for $106. Just announcing we have an RFP. I have a listing already, an email listing of about 50 or 60 consultants that I can ship it out to tomorrow. And then we'll have it on our website.
Yeah.
Just get the word out. We'll send it to everybody that we've worked with in the past, plus a bunch more.
So basically, we just need to buy consensus. So,
If there's anything
Everything.
you want changed in there, we met with
I didn't.
Conservation today, they liked it.
If we're all in agreement, go ahead. Yeah.
Sandy did a good job on it.
Thank you.
Town Hall Concert Series. Looks like you've got it already scheduled up.
Well, I haven't, nobody said yes, but I reached out to a couple. Sounds like Dad and all the wives would be available. We played here twice before. We were our very first,
Yeah.
and then our very first repeat, and now they'll be our very first to renew.
I guess we have a consensus, I guess we're all in agreement. I know it was a nice series you had before. Select board concerns.
I have one thing I wanted to bring up. You had a letter to Sandy about basketball hoops. And you're saying you were gonna request $5,000 from a donor?
Based on some of the preliminary estimates that were gotten by Jordan.
As a representative of the municipality, I don't think you should be requesting any specific amount from a donor.
Okay.
If he
It was
wants to,
going to be, it was.
whatever
going to
he wants to offer,
be- Okay.
I don't think we should be asking for specific dollar
I
amounts.
guess the use of the term request was more of going to show him what it was going to cost us and see what he was willing to. I wasn't going to sit down with him and say, give us $5,000.
The other thing, what are you thinking of doing here? Because, I mean, we just paved that we just paved that court and had it all finished off. Are you intending to use the existing poles?
Yes.
Okay.
It was just it's something that I took over from Jordan's exit, and it was a conversation that had gone pretty far, and there's a lot of estimates and paperwork to back it all up. So I reached out to the potential donor, and he's very excited to be offering this service for us. So I didn't want to miss that chance. They would be a high-end, clear, composite basketball backboard with a spring release action on the hoop. So, you know, dunking would be fun, and the existing posts have been measured and looked at so that a unit can be put right in place. We would like to have put in a single post in that location, but it sounds like the concern is that we would...
You'd have to tear the pavement all up that we just paid to put down this spring. I mean...
Why would we have to tear up the pavement?
To get the poles out.
To get the poles out, the old poles out, you'd have to tear the pavement up.
Probably use the old ones.
I mean, the old ones are definitely usable.
Yeah, they look pretty solid.
Yes,
I just don't think the pavement would have to be torn up to remove those poles.
yeah,
Okay.
it would.
Have you had a contractor look at that? Do you know that we would have to remove the pavement in order to
Yeah,
pull
that
the
was
poles out?
part of the discussion when we redid the basketball court was whether or not we were gonna replace the poles,
Okay,
and that had to be done before the paving,
okay.
so.
So do you want me to cease, or what's the issue?
That's up to the rest of the board. I mean, I spent a lot of time raising those backboards. One of the other previous board members made new brackets to raise it up after we paved it and stuff. As old as it is, I think you're gonna have a very difficult time finding a backboard that you can just bolt up there.
I have an image of I have correspondence with a basketball backboard distributor who has a bracket that fits that particular post structure.
Oh, really?
So it would literally be unbolting and reattaching just a new backboard.
Well, if you can, that's good. I mean,
Okay.
I really didn't think you'd be able to do that.
Man, things are really possible when you like go through the right channels.
That would be exciting to see,
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good upgrade to the beautiful court that exists down there.
Somebody's been offered to help pay for this.
Right,
It's not like you went out looking, they came to you, right?
yeah.
And you have a donor.
There's a donor, and he's excited. When I reached out to him, it had been a few weeks since his last correspondence, and he responded within minutes with excitement to create this for us. So having regulation-sized backboards would be pretty cool.
My biggest fear was that you were thinking of tearing up those posts.
No,
Well, that's exciting.
we'll see how it goes. I meet with him on Wednesday, and,
Great.
we'll see what we can do.
I know of at least one Wallingford resident who would be very excited to
I see him
to
down
see
there
regular, yes.
almost every night. I take the dog for a walk through there every night.
Yep. Well, thank you.
All I had, Nelson.
Select board concerns. Other business. I think we've reached that point in the night.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
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 Aye.